All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Tonight we've got a matchup coming for the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. We've got Ban Cho versus Wood League. The teams are both ready to go here, and so we're going to go ahead and jump right in on the draft. So Ban Cho and Wood League, both teams that I've become a bit more familiar with here, as we all got to participate in the I don't know if I technically am allowed to say other things. So we played in a match with things going on. We did stuff and things, and both of these teams did really kind of, I don't want to say surprising. They had a lot of value in the playoffs. They played really well against some high-ranked teams. So I expect this is going to be a really good matchup. Just taking a quick look at our maps here, the bans were Cursed Hollow and BOE. And then the maps that we're going to have, first we've got Towers of Doom, which was selected by Ban Cho, and Wood League picked Volskaya Foundry. So we're already halfway through the initial bans here. Let's get popping in on this. We've got Johanna Anubarak bans coming right out. And of course, Johanna got buffed a little bit today, and Anubarak got a very slight little bit of a nerf. And then Jaina also got a kind of a weird restructuring, not a weird restructuring, but a little bit of value added to her her blizzard potential damage. So not a big surprise to see the teams kind of focusing on these heroes to begin with, especially because of these kind of unknowns. And the first selection of the game is going to be Diablo. If I remember correctly, I don't think Diablo even got touched at all. So it's almost like he was kind of the central focus. If Diablo was strong, everybody else should be based around him. So they, buffed Muradin. They made some slight adjustments to Imperius. I don't recall his adjustments either. Falstad has a new skin. The global value for Falstad on this map is pretty significant. But so is the Sylvanas. Now, Sylvanas is a hero that gets a ton of kind of burst damage, gets value out of that Merc Queen, and allows them to push towers really easily on this map to gain extra shots. Also allows them to have a really strong 4-man that can keep and maintain that bottom lane, which is so important here. And banning out the global Dahaka so that they don't have to deal with that, at least as a secondary pressure to the Sluggadin Falstad. Let's go back to the dashboard so I can see all the lovely people stopping by. Wonder how many people are stopping by. Probably about 4 right now. Because it's late. And the Ana. Some slight nerfs to Ana today on the grenade. Making it so that her overall healing output is slightly less. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any real significant change because of that. If she still kind of maintains her place in the meta. And Stitches and Stukov. So pulling them in, getting them charged, and then silenced. Gives them a lot to work with there. And what do you, so you still need the, okay, well, there's that, and the solo lane. So yeah, so we actually just played against a comp almost exactly like this just a couple of days ago, and it was annoying. It was very strong. So we'll see how this plays out for them. They were able to basically just push exactly what I said earlier. They just pushed in the bot lane, held it for, the whole game, and it was very difficult to push into. So spices on. Stukov. And blue team's on Imperius. There we go. So here we go into game one. So this is a, I hate to say a best of two. There are 2 games that are going to be played. Each game is worth 1 point. Come on, load the page. There we go. So each game is worth 1 point for each of these teams. So we'll see how it turns out. I think right now the strength of the Wood League comp, you know, gives me a little bit of a pause. I think that that's a very strong comp for them. We'll see if the pick comp, the almost kidnap comp, gives them enough value on the side of Bancho. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, for Bancho, we've got Bluestein playing Imperius. Skev 13 is going to be on Stitches. Stukov is going to be played by Spice. Sluggaden is going to be running the Falstad, and Quinal showing up on the Hanzo. For the red team, Wood League, we've got Kavlor on the Kael'thas. Korix is going to be on Zul'jin. Yendor, Diablo, Droopy on Sylvanas, and who did I miss? Red on the Lucio. It's gonna be Wood League for you. Quick peek at the talents. We do see the Globe Quest coming up for Stitches, the other ST. Explosive arrows for Hanzo. That Shadow Dagger quest for Sylvanas, so watch for that to become just insane damage as the game goes on here. And then Party Mix for Lucio. He's already doing really well on that at 90 stacks because everybody's just hanging out together in this 4-man, kind of like I mentioned earlier. They are getting this rotation started here as Bancho a little bit slower on that. Their wave clear right now especially is a little bit more difficult for them to keep up with this Kael'thas Sylvanas kind of burst AoE. And look for Zool to eventually kind of push in on this as a double soak potentially. Kael'thas and Sylvanas go ahead and get started on their camp now as Diablo and Lucio are going to go ahead and soak that lane. The hook going out on Diablo. He doesn't have a ton of health there. He's only got 18 souls, but Lucio pulls him back out. And there's that Zool picking up the mid lane here. And Wood League's going to go ahead and get aggressive in on this camp. But with the vision, the rest of the team's going to come up. Diablo's going to dive in onto Falstad, but just doesn't have the health to get out of there. And it's going to be first blood thanks to Hanzo finishing off Diablo there. So trying to get value out of this camp here in the bot lane are Kael'thas and Sylvanas. But Stitches and Falstad going to be able to keep them from getting close enough to actually push into that wall and get any structure damage. Hanzo's very low though here, so they've got to be a little bit careful. One accidental bomb transference and Hanzo goes to the graveyard. And Diablo's back here, so we do have a full 4-man back in the bot lane for Wood League. 3 of them here nearby as we've got Hanzo and Falstad trying to get the camp, but look at this camp invade again. 4v3 as he will dive in on Quinal there and get the Hanzo kill in return. And Lucio's gonna dive in on Sluggaden there. He boops him back, but just not quite enough. And that camp will make it through to the wall as we have the first triple altar phase coming up. All right, we got 4 members of Wood League in the bot lane looking to get some value out of this push here. Kael'thas is going to go ahead and start channeling. In the top, though, Bluestein and Spice taking both of those altars. So really bad time for Zool to have to be back in the graveyard there. And Hanzo's able to stall out the Kael'thas as the gravity lapse does get him chunked down pretty heavily with the living bomb and then the additional damage following up from there. They're having to back out a bit here as now Droopy trying to channel but gets pushed off. Calling for the assist. They don't even have Imperious. It's now 5 versus 4 coming up for Wood League, but damage on both sides. I mean, Stitches that have health, Kael'Thas is pretty low, and Diablo's getting just demolished, and he will go down. And Zool gets caught out by the Imperious there, throws out the root onto Imperious, but unfortunately he had a friend, and that's going to be one more kill going over for Ban Cho here. And they recognize this power play. They've got 2 members of Wood League in the graveyard. They've got 4 of their people here. They want to get this camp. And Wood League doesn't want to let them have it, but they don't have a whole lot they can do about it. So we'll see if all 3 of these make it into this wall, or is that going to be a pause? It looks like they are going to go ahead and stall these out. Sylvanas gets the black arrow out to stop them. But 2 of them will make it through, but Kael'Thas is very low as Hanzo's managing to thread that needle, get some shots in there. Kavlor in the back there just trying to get some damage, some AoE stuff out on the minions there just to help with that XP, help the team kind of clear up that space. And the flip out onto Stitches. Stitches is a beefy target, so this is going to be a tough kill for them to try to work it out, but just pulling him back, just bringing it back a little bit, defending. Up here in the top lane, we've got Zool versus Imperious, and this is take a look at his spec just real quick here. So we do have the full auto attack cleave. He's trying to get that cooldown reduction, that healing off of the enemy heroes when he cleaves. Gives him some sustain in that fight to equal out the Imperious sustain from his level 4 talent. But Zool in the mid lane almost had the Stukov to come up and help, but thanks to that root, he did back away. Altar's coming up in 5 seconds, though. Red's a little bit low. Bluestein is at the point. Gonna start channeling as here comes Zool back into it now. So we do have 5 for 5. Diablo charging in on Sluggaden there. Manages to hit him in the wall, but no real follow-up. And he's kind of split off. Bluestein deep into the team with the living bomb. And he's gonna go down, but not before spreading that bomb onto Stitches. Hanzo will finish off his explosive arrow quest here, and he's gonna be able to poke out a little bit to stall this point. Now the lurking arm from oh, not Lucio, oh my goodness, Stukov. So many STs, so many S's. Sluggaden, Stukov, Stitches, Bluestein. Similar sounds there. Homophones, I think is what those are. Anyways, so 4 members back in the bot lane. They haven't yet been able to take this bottom tower, but they really do want to. They want to get this value here. And Stukov gets caught by the gravity lapse, throwing out some bombs into Sluggaden there, trying to get him to catch on the back line. Hanzo gets some shots in on the Diablo and manages to avoid getting charged into that wall. And Sylvanas may be looking to get, yeah, they're getting that camp started. Maybe a little bit of a challenging prospect considering level 10's now online for Ban Cho, and they know what's going on. You don't have 10s yet for Wood League. It's very close. There's the Hanzo arrow coupled with the gust, but unfortunately they already got the camp. So taking a look at those ultimates, so we just saw the Mighty Gust, we saw the Dragon's Arrow. We also have the Putrid Bile and Angelic Armaments and Flailing Swipe for Stukov there at the end. But on the reverse side, for Wood League, we've got Pyroblast. Oh, look at this. So we've got Diablo flipping around the Stitches again. Lucio pops that sound barrier, and the Wailing Arrow comes out from Sylvanas to try to just keep things locked down for them here. Diablo charges in on the Imperious, but the Flailing Swipe knocks them all back. Angelic Armaments comes out, giving him that potential burst of damage onto the Diablo, and he gets just melted there. And Lucio is trying to get him sped away to keep him alive, and they're spreading those bombs just just getting the damage out there and nearly kills the Falstad, only a couple hundred. Oh, by the way, there are altars up here that Zool managed already to capture one, and he's gonna have to back away as the rest of Bancho shows up now. He might get one more. Yeah, okay, we'll see if that actually interrupts the Falstad. Doesn't look like it. So we trade one altar for one altar, 4 for 4, and we get the Gust back to save the Stitches, that big root there. And followed up by the Dragon's Arrow. He has absolutely no mana left. Can't so much as cast one explosive arrow. Sylv down in the bot lane through all of this, getting some push here. So they are finally getting some value out of that Sylv Black Arrow trait value here. And now we may see a fight over this. I don't know. I don't think they should, but that's, you know, they don't listen to me. They're not taking orders from me. Oops, I did that. Let's see here. How do I get with that? I don't even know what I'm clicked on. There we go. Well, in case you're wondering, the altars appear to have about 5 million health. So you're probably not going to be killing them anytime soon. We do have all 4 going in, pushing in. The flip onto Hanzo, but he just jumps over the wall. The APOC misses everybody, and Diablo now isolated as Stitches gets deep into this group. The Gust of Wind throws Kael'thas and Lucio deep into the tower. Lucio just barely dodging that arrow. Droopy in trouble, though, from the cleaves coming out from Imperius, but it's Lucio that's gonna fall, and now Diablo getting caught by that lurking arm with the silence and the Hanzo arrow from downtown, getting that Sylvanas. And there's, whoops, wrong one. There's that value out of that target practice, getting that extra range, and now double altars coming up here. Zool says, you know what, I can't really contest any of this as we've got the sappers going in here. They're not going to take this fort down, but they'll at least get some damage on it. Well, maybe not. Maybe not if Kael... Okay, yeah. If Kael can stop them. Zool trying to keep up in this XP. They are just now getting to 13s. As far as the XP, though, let's take a look at that. Where is that one? XP total. So Zool is doing a great job of keeping the XP going, but just not enough compared to the rest of the teams here. And as with 5 members, they're going to go ahead and try to push in on this, get that keep down to half. The Pyroblast coming out onto Sluggadin, but he is going to get the burst heal coming out from Stukov and just keeps him alive. Under 80 hit points there, thanks to Stukov. Wailing, haunting spirit? Haunting wave. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Getting thrown out. And the double charge stun out of Bluestein has the living bomb. Doesn't look like it gets spread. The APOC, or the, well, there's the APOC. The Angelic Armament's coming up, but it's the Hanzo Dragon Arrow that's gonna finish off the Lucio, thanks to his stun at least. It wasn't his kill, but... And Sylph just throwing out the damage with that dagger. Almost manages to take out Falstad once again, and look at that damage from Hanzo. One poke out of Hanzo onto that Kael'thas, and he's just down to half health practically. And it looks like they will be able to get this fort, maybe? Question mark? Maybe not. They are gonna not only save the fort, they're gonna kill Stukov, and Falstad goes down. So now, triple altar phase, you've got Zool coming up here to soak up, hopefully, this top, keep things stalled there. And we've got 3 versus 2 in the bot lane. Really tough call on how, there you go, how low they were into the big damage out of Hanzo and the body of Stitches. So now 2 altars going over to Wood League. Zool able to keep things going, just barely staying alive. The Angelic Armaments, though, may come out and get him if he's not careful. And Diablo doing everything he can just to stay alive in this. Gets just massive damage coming out from that. And in the bot lane, we see... Oh, it may be a dead Hanzo. It is a dead Hanzo. That arrow wasn't quite enough to finish it, as they are able to get the altar, though. Or, I'm sorry, the tower, which will lessen the points that Bancho gets against them. So they finally get this bottom keep. and we'll see what they do with it now. They finally achieved their primary goal and objective in this game. Now they just have to maintain that control. So, trying to capture this Merc camp to get the bonus points on the board. Bancho coming in here. They do have Gust, but they're going to go ahead and pass that living bomb, though. But the Gust was not feasible, not into that position, and Diablo was able to just charge him back. So, keep that away. Charge in on Stitches, manages to pull him back. The APOC goes out, but gets pulled out of the APOC there just at the last moment. Ends up going down anyway, thanks to that damage coming out from Sylvanas as the Wailing Arrow goes into the back onto Bluestein. And it's Falstad, however, that's going to get slammed into the ground and pulled to death with Diablo as he is burned from the living bomb there as well. And they do get, I think it was 2 points out of that, so they did get 2 out of 3. Welcome, Repsychic! My buddy, my grand champion friend. Shouting out the Lucio best character. So we do have Zool here in the mid lane getting some solid push. And look at this top as well. It's at half health. So again, they're getting exactly the value they want out of this, which is as much push in these lanes as possible while they also get these camps pressuring the bottom. Zool's going to go down, but this bottom altar is up. They have both of the keeps down here, and there's no real way for them for Bancho to come into this and have any kind of retreat. So they do have Kael'thas channel that objective to get 6 points out of that, making this a much closer game. Diablo flips over that Stitches. They I feel like this is a little questionable for them. It's okay for them to lose this, but they actually get the spread bomb damage. Holy smokes. And finish off that Stitches and the other guy, Bluestein, on whoever he's playing. Imperius, there we go. And Hanzo's got to be careful. He has such low health that Diablo could have just charged right in there and still made it out. And look at what's Stukov doing over here. How did he even get over there? Anybody see that? I don't know. I didn't see that. Hanzo's trying to get some value here, but at this point, they just have to maintain this bot lane. We've got 20 seconds until this next Sapper camp is up, and we've got 2 altars in the top lane coming up here soon. This is the potential for now Zool to clear up this top lane and push in that top tower. And that's all they need to do. They get that top tower, and this is suddenly a very difficult game for Bancho to come back in. Even Kael'thas in the mid lane here, just trying to keep them off of this tower to get that value, maybe even get those free shots. But he's in trouble now. The tower is very low, and there's the hook coming out from long distance, followed up by the Dragon's Arrow, and Kael'thas is going to be visiting the graveyard. His level 20s do come online here. So we do see that flamethrower for Kael'thas. That's going to give him the extra range to go along with the ignite, especially. The upgraded skeletal mages, Bolt of the Storm, I don't even know what that's called. House Party, increasing the healing, and Diablo, I wonder what he's looking at going for here. So we do have pushing in deep, the Apoc's going out to stun everybody, and it does manage to hit the Hanzo as he'll go down. Angelic Armaments gets popped here, trying to give that shield, and the willed swords all over the Sylvanas. Stitches pops as the Putrid Bile, but Stukov's just a little bit late with that knockback. They get the 2 points from their altar, but a big fat 6 coming out for Wood League. And Bluestein in trouble, gets suplexed by the Diablo, and now this is kind of a worst case scenario because all they have to do is push in this mid fort, and they're calling for it. They get this fort, and that's gonna be game if Falstad cannot get that bottom fort before this, and he is trying his hardest. He's got his wave of minions, and it looks like he probably will get that, but at least before it's just barely before they take this. So now once again 6 points on the board still for Bancho, but they have 6 towers, and they're gonna have a Sapper camp coming into this bot one in just a moment. They've got to start working on that top tower, getting that turned over as soon as possible. But they're gonna go ahead and come down here because they realize if they get this bottom tower, and those sappers get through, that's game. It's just done. But Zul's now got pressure going in top lane as well. So 3 points potentially coming out of top. You have no altars left, and now they finally get onto this mid tower. They needed to be there earlier. 4 points. As now in the top lane, one of those pumpkin sappers in the bot lane got through. Now the win condition is in the top lane. One of them, two of them, three of them get through, and that's game. Game number 1 going over to Wood League, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at these stats. What do we got? So let's take a look here. So Zul getting 24,000 XP, Imperius 15, and that's of course just because Zul can get that faster rotation between the lanes, getting that big soak, and occasionally, you know, Bancho just had to get into that other lane and send somebody up there. So it took a little bit of a while for Wood League to get their comp to do what they wanted it to do. Bancho really tried their best to push back into that, but ultimately once they got that level, what, 18 or so, and Zul had gotten enough push in top and enough push in mid, once they got that kill, it snowballed and did exactly what this comp was designed to do. Take a look at those talents again. They just came up with these level 20s, the wind tunnel, controlled chaos, the individual knockbacks, upgraded putrid bile, the valorous pursuit. So yeah, quite a challenging game there. It was very even in kills, and for the most part it was pretty even throughout the game. Just managed to get that one advantage for a few moments that triggered what they needed to do to win. All right, we'll be back in just a moment while we get these two teams together to hopefully get game number 2 started soon.
When I was young, I lived a life of recklessness. In my selfishness, I inflicted pain and hurt those I cared for. I have learned many lessons in my struggles with doubt and fear. Balance and harmony are not easily attained. They must be fought for! But on my journey, I have learned another lesson. You do not have to fight alone.
Let's do this!
All right, everybody, we are back. So just a quick look at the maps here. So again, this is not quite best of two. It's just 2 games. There's the first was picked by Banjo. That was Towers of Doom. It was won by Wood League. Second map, Volskaya Foundry, picked by Wood League. Very different map style, very different map priorities. So we'll see some pretty different map drafts, bans, I imagine. Well, maybe not bans. Bans are kind of team specific often. So we'll see how this turns out. But it looks like both the teams are ready. So let me get that confirmation in here. So shouting you out, chat. I see there are a few people in chat here, up to 7 people now. We are rocking it tonight. It's 11:45 on the East Coast. And I'm like, my brain is fried. I'm like, half the time I can't remember whether Stitches is tanking or Stukov's tanking. But based on these 2 teams, you know, Wood League had a very strong comp in that game. It was really committed to what they wanted to do. And they ultimately were able to pull that off in the end. But Bancho also had a good, strong draft for what they wanted to do. It just didn't quite execute at the same level. So going into Volskaya Foundry, I expect to see some slight adjustments. I expect to see some... okay, so we have some... okay, we need to back up. So we had to correct that. You guys didn't get to see the chat and everything, but we had to correct as the wrong team had first pick. When we are. So anyways, I expect to see priority on heroes like the Kael'thas, like Johanna, which was banned last game, like the potentially even the Sylvanas could see more play here. The Diablo maybe still a little bit. We could even see an Anub'arak still. Anub'arak lightening the load of the enemy team, giving that better presence for your own team on this map. What do you guys think you'll see coming out of these 2 teams, as far as what you've seen from them before, whether it's bans picks? What do you think that these guys are likely to pick? So just as a reminder, last game we saw them ban, Wood League banned Johanna, Jaina, and Ana, and Bancho banned Anub'arak, Tyrande, and Dahaka. And we are back in the draft, so I'm going to go ahead and switch us over to that page. And I'm going to go ahead and write down now before I forget what they picked last game. So a lot of the heroes that were picked by Wood League last game carry over here as well, as we see that first Anub'arak ban followed up by the Johanna ban. So they're sticking exactly with where they were last game. Garrosh getting taken out. That's an interesting one. Garrosh did have some changes to his talents, so his throw has now a longer cooldown. And then they actually buffed some of his other talents. So, you know, the body check looks a little bit more dangerous now. It actually looks like a Mortal Strike type of effect from Warcraft, giving him a nice push. And I think it's 40% healing reduction, so they baked in his level 7 talent into level 1. So 40% healing reduction for 3 seconds, as followed up by the Jaina ban. So Johanna, Jaina, just like last game, coming out for Wood League. And again, I mean, Jaina's a good, solid hero on this map to begin with, but with the buffs to her Blizzard, I think it would be interesting to see how she plays out in a map like this, where, you know, you can have that additional damage from the Blizzard, you get the additional range, you get the additional radius, but you lose the potential for that root at 16 or the vulnerability at 16, and you lose Icy Veins. And Icy Veins is a really strong talent. And chip. So Murden, Kael'thas. So Murden got some buffs. You know what? Murden's the one character I didn't look at because I was going to look at him later and I didn't have enough time. So I actually don't know the full breadth of what they did. I just saw their comments on the matter, which was that they were making some more survivability for him and the level 13 talents to kind of work out with that healing static. So I'm looking forward to see how Murden plays out in this as we get a Nazebo Ana. And you know what? Call it what you will. Nazebo here, from what I have seen, can just be absolutely disgusting. He can just do so much damage because you've got a control point where everybody has to kind of hang out and not miss toads. Like, they just hit everything. So we'll see how that turns out as they ban out the Blaze. So Blaze would be, you know, pretty solid for them. The Diablo charge with the Blaze charge could be quite a bit of stun combination. And there's that Sylvanas, so that actually doesn't surprise me at all, especially with them getting the next pick. You know, Sylvanas would be a win harder hero here, and she does. Just keeps that tower locked down so that they can come in. And you know, I was going to mention Alexstrasza earlier, but Alexstrasza, this is another good map for her because it gives them the extra heroic, especially early game, where they can just say, you know what, we want this, and you have to leave. So what do you got? What's your solo lane? What's your other damage? So I'm expecting maybe... I don't know about a Raynor. I was thinking Raynor. Tychus could even potentially work really well into that Muradin Leoric. Also has the grenades. You could see a Junkrat. Junkrat would work really well here. Or they could go Varian and Lunara. So Lunara can help a little bit because Alexstrasza's, you know, healing, a lot of that comes from her single target Q. But it does have, she does have that AoE heal as well, so I guess the AoE heal kind of quote-unquote counter would be Nazebo if he's got the range to do it. For Droopy, we've got Maiev. I like Maiev here. She's a really strong hero, and you know, the kind of the way that you play Sylv, as if you're playing her aggressive, seems to be similar. I've seen a lot of similar play between Maiev and Sylvanas players, so interested to see how this turns out. Maiev gets the tether with the Kael'thas Living Bomb. You've got the Leoric Entomb. Yeah, that could be a whole lot of pain in the neck. That being said, you've got Varian, who reduces healing. Not sure which flavor of Varian we're gonna see here, because the burst damage coming out of Sea Smash could be helpful for, you know, taking down like a Kael'thas if he can get to him, and that's really the challenge there. So I'm thinking maybe we might even just see, I don't know, could we see a Taunt Varian out of this? Taunt Varian would provide, well, oh man, they just have so much sustained damage out of Nazebo and Lunara, so we'll see. I think it's going to be a little bit challenging for them with that sustain, but then again, an Ana nano boost into that, again, that Nazebo can just do work. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 between Bancho and Wood League. Our teams tonight: Bluestein going to be playing the Ana, Quinal on the Lunara, Spice coming out on that ghostly charger on Diablo, Skev13 going to be playing the Varian, and Sluggaden rounding it out on the Nazebo. And for Wood League, we've got Yender on Muradin. Korix going to be playing that Leoric on the wrong skin, but we won't give him too much crap about that. Red is going to be playing Alexstrasza, Droopy on the Maiev, and Kavlor on the Kael'thas. Take a quick look at level 1 talents. Thankfully, we see a Mana Addict. It is going to be Toads. It's going to be High King's Quest. And those are the quest talents. As we get an instant sleep out onto the Muradin up in the front line here. Varian and Leoric looking to go into the bot lane. So, oh, there we go. Flip onto the Maiev. The Vault of the Warden's trying to get out, and she dives right into the Nazebo zombie wall. And pretty much like I said earlier, the quote-unquote counter is that Nazebo is going to drop a zombie wall there and either hedge people out or, you know, potentially trap them in. And the Maiev will get a tether onto the Lunara, but Diablo tries to come in and save her, just happens to pick up a living bomb, and a little bit too late to really do anything about that in that 4v1. So first blood going out over to Woodley, making a statement onto that Lunara. And Maiev instantly coming up here, now that these camps are up, coming up and getting this siege camp, as Alexstrasza and Kael'thas are going to go ahead and work on the fortification camp, getting that turret value. And it wouldn't surprise me if once they've got these both held up, if they're, you know, if they clean up this lane and then go grab the support camp. Diablo's not really a hero yet. Varian's not really a hero yet. So they've got a lot of potential. Even Nazebo doesn't do that much at this level. So the ball's kind of in their court at this point. And they don't want this game to go to level 20 if they can help it. Here comes an aggressive rotation in on this Diablo. Maiev tether pulls him back. The gravity lapse coming out from Kavlor, and Spice is in deep trouble here. Manages to charge away onto Alexstrasza and gets all the way back to his base. What a charge, getting away from that dangerous situation. And the 4-man rotation coming in onto this support camp, as I mentioned earlier, they want to get this as quickly as possible, and Murden is going to go ahead and anchor that for his team. Throw out a stun in on the Lunara just as a statement, just to say this is happening, and they do get that. However, Maiev grabbing the bio emitter as Diablo almost manages to get in there and snag it. Not a place you want to be with your back to a wall, literally, with a Diablo on the team there. Kael'thas with that fortification camp gonna go ahead and go back, and it is a C-Smash variant here, and a no mana Leoric, so this is kind of a dicey situation for him to be in. But he's just down here to soak this lane. And Sluggaden on the Nazebo does manage to just escape. This time Spice shows up just in the nick of time, charges in, and saves his brother Nazebo, which feels a little bit awkward considering the circumstances. But you get where I'm going with that, right? You know what I'm talking about. Oh, let's get off that. We've got Ana and Lunara now coming up, getting their siege camp. Is that Devil's Due? Let's take a look. It is. Yeah, sure is. Living bombs going out from Kavlor, just spreading that disease around. And Lunara going in. This feels vaguely reminiscent of a game I played just yesterday as Diablo charges in onto the Kael'thas. Kavlor drops the turret and the bio-emitter goes out, but it's a little too late to save him as that dot damage comes in. Alexstrasza pops the dragon in the backline. Sluggaden very low in health, but we've got just dot damage all over the place, even on Murden with his tanky health pool is just getting chunked. They do get the overtime proc, so they got 99%, but at this point, you can even walk away and come back when your guy comes back, but they instead say, no, we want to kill Diablo. And Droopy, very low thanks to these dots, avoids the death damage coming out with the Vault of the Wardens, but now Yender on Muradin having to back away, has very low health, looking for that second wind, whatever he's got, but the big damage coming out from Kael'thas manages to chunk everybody down and push them back as Lunara, Varian, and Ana all get destroyed. So the glove doesn't really shut down the wall, so I feel like they maybe missed where they were going for that, but that's okay. You got that turret, that tower down, and up in the top lane, Leo's trying to push out these minions to give them this value so that they can get these towers and the healing well. But I gotta tell you guys, like, when you come back and watch this later, what are you doing with these gloves? That glove went off into nowhere for nothing. And this thing is almost dead. They're in kind of a dangerous spot, but both Maiev and Murden do have a way to get out of there if they are in a bad spot. And they'll just pull back, get healed up. And even with that death, that, you know, they stuck with it. They, you know, they recognize that Lunara and Nazebo can do a lot of damage, but it takes a while for that to happen. And with Alexstrasza, they're able to get rid of a pretty significant chunk of that every 12 to 16 seconds or so. Leo being aggressive in here. Diablo says, no, this is mine. And Diablo again, or not Diablo, Leoric again can just walk out of those skeletal zombie walls. Sorry, not skeletal, but zombie walls. But his Wraithwalk is down as Varian dives in with the C-Smash, pulls him down pretty low, but he's just going to walk away. And level 10's just coming up here for Wood League, just a little bit ahead of Bancho. So we've got that Phoenix, good zone control on the control point. The Warden's Cage, fantastic on this map. Cleansing Flame from Alex Raza, trying to keep her group well healed up. And Avatar, and of course the Entomb from Leoric. All very good talents on this map. Gives them a lot of value. And coming up now for Bancho, just a little bit behind, but they are about 3/4 of a level behind right now. We see the Leaping Strike for Lunara, the Gargantuan for Nazebo. Colossus Smash, of course, has been out for Varian. Let's take a look at what his actual level 10 talent was. Shield Wall, giving him that Protect. And then Lightning Breath for Diablo. All right, so we've got 4v4. Droopy's going to go ahead and back out. Get that lane soak. They already have this wall down. They already have the healing well down. In the mid, very similar. They've got the wall down, not yet the healing well. Just getting that soak, keeping this game moving forward. They've got a half a level lead still at this point. Diablo, all by himself here, could be in trouble if the rest of the team paid attention, but that's not what they're really looking for. And they will pick up their siege camp. And go ahead and cue the intermission music as we dance around, look for XP, and wait for the next control point to come up. There are no camps available yet. We do have something come up soon, don't we? 30 seconds, 20 seconds, fortification soon. Murden jumps in. He has no way to escape, but again, there's nobody there to punish that as Diablo charges him into a wall, but nothing to finish. That's true, Rek. You did not get to play Alex Raza. That's unfortunate. Leo's going to be a little bit late to this party. Let's check in on those early talents here. Toad's 35 stacks. Unfortunately, we have no idea about Varian. I have to assume he's done at least one of these talents. Almost there for Mana Addict. A little bit behind, I think, maybe. Oh, and we've got C-Smash screaming over here on the Leoric. The dive coming out from Lunara and penalty to healing. As Droopy deep in there with the Maiev Warden's Cage, just fan of knife resets all over the place. But Kael'thas is the one who finishes the job on both Nazebo and Ana. But Diablo gets caught and pulled up by Gravity Lapse, getting that full heal as 4 out of 5 will go down for Bancho. And they will reset the Diablo stacks. And now up here, thanks to that level 13 advantage, the ballsy play coming out from Droopy, just saying, yeah, okay, this is my jam. And they're looking to invade these turret camps now, and why wouldn't you? 4v2, you can do whatever you want. Diablo getting a little bit aggressive there when he's just got a Lunara to follow him up. And now the item control very heavily in favor of Wood League, as they've got both turrets, they've got a biotic emitter, they've got about half of the channel done on the protector, and they're going to go ahead and come get a third turret. So at this point, Maiev going to be looking to get out of this once they get up here. But they have 3 turrets and a biotic emitter, so this is a very dangerous place for Bancho to be. And 20 seconds until all their stuff's up. So this could be a really big fight. Let's zoom out a little bit to get an idea of what's going on here. And Wood League, again, they don't have something on every single player, so they're going to go ahead and get this support camp. They've got about 45 seconds until the end of this channel for the protector, so why not? 2 biotic emitters, 3 turrets. Let's see how this plays out. If you're Bancho, I'm a little bit terrified right now. You want to get these items used, bait them out, and then what? Kill them if you can, but there's not any time. Those turrets are going to be up forever, at least as far as this control point is concerned. Wraithwalk's going out. I'm assuming he took the thing to, yeah, he did, to reduce their damage. And there goes Alexstrasza. They drop the Gargantuan, but they just have to back out. They have nothing that they can push in on this with. And so now Wood League, 2 levels ahead, 1.5 levels ahead, is looking to, well, originally they were going to head bot, but now they're actually going to go ahead and push down this keep, and there, or this fort. And there you go. Now you're getting that glove on something where it's useful. And the Sleep Dart onto Murden isn't going to get any real value, but there's the Honor Grenade with the healing penalty, preventing any healing out of that Alexstrasza. I don't know what that ability's called. The W anyways. You know what I'm talking about. Varian's gonna dive in, reduce that armor on the Protector, get a little bit of damage where he can, and then walk out, just trying to get whatever they can before this Protector gets in the bot lane and starts doing work. Setting up for that 3rd Protector, which is going to decide so much in this game. And no grenade out of Ana for that one, because she's in the mid lane, trying to soak. Zebo's up top. They got to be really careful here because, yeah, there you go. The stun onto Varian, and he just gets destroyed by all of the damage. And now Lunara as well in a kind of a difficult spot. Diablo has nobody to charge this time, and it looks like they are not only going to get the advantage in this bot lane, they're going to go ahead and take out this fort. Murden diving in, trying to get that stun and completion onto the Lunara, but Leoric will manage to get up here. Hops up with Diablo. The Maya tether pulls both Lunara and Diablo back, but it's just Diablo that will go down. And now, with that advantage, they're going to go ahead and get up here and get yet another turret. They still have double bio emitter. This is a tough place to be if you're Bancho right now. You gotta find something, some value. And Nazebo's trying to do it up here in the top lane. He's got to know that they're on their way. Oh, that's such a long cast, too. Can he get it? Oh, Maya's so close. Nope. You're dead. It was nice knowing you. Slug it in. I have nothing left to say on that. I'm not even going to call out these abilities because they're not worth calling. Just running around, giving his team time to catch up. Get that soak. Level 16's coming up for Wood League. So very similar for the Kael'thas, just the Pyro Blast change to whatever that is, Phoenix. And it looks like, oh, Varian, oh, buddy, you are so dead. So long, my friend. I think you're supposed to say, like, for Mother Russia or something there when you're that skin, but, you know, we don't want to talk politics here. And now with this strong advantage of Nazebo dead, Varian dead, we've got Wood League looking for maybe yet another support camp. Looks like it. They dropped that one because they... what else are they going to do with them? They can't get another one. They don't have Misha to take one. They don't have the Vikings. I wonder if the Vikings can get more than one item. Interesting. I bet they can. I would think Misha cannot. So Kael'thas coming down here. Not a whole lot of action here. Once again, intermission music. And now we've got Leo versus 4 in the mid lane. But here they come. Here comes Wood League. Murden's going to go ahead and dive in. He's going to get charged by Diablo. Here comes the Warden's Cage, the tether onto Diablo, but he pops a Lightning Breath to get the Unstoppable. Varian pops Protect to try to survive this additional damage coming out. And Diablo dives back in, and the Biotic Emitter in the backline there manages to keep all of Wood League very healthy. And Sluggadon has a Living Bomb trying to not pass it along, as they will get that additional fort now. So 3 forts down on the side of Bancho. And here comes this 3rd Protector now, as they just used a turret, they just used a Biotic Emitter. They want to get this one now too. And level 16 is here for both teams, so this is as even as a fight you're gonna get. But they're not able to really push into it. Toads are done. They're almost where they need to be for Nazebo to have Volatile Infection at level 20. So if they can somehow survive this, then Nazebo's gonna just come online and they're gonna do tons of damage. And they gotta make a play here soon. They can't wait for that. Varian's got 2 of his 3 stacks done. My guess is that he's missing the globes, probably. Murden's almost got 25, so they're in a very good place, Wood League is right now. And Ban Cho having to back off because Wood League knows that Varian's not there. Welcome back, Rec. Glad you could join with the memes here. So getting this invaded camp will give them something, but they have to go now if they're going to do this before the level 20. And this is, I don't know. I think that's questionable. I think that now that you've got level 20 coming up almost immediately, as soon as one of these towers dies, that's level 20 for Wood League. So you're in a tough spot. But then again, that third control point is just death. I mean, somebody dies, and if you die, it's a loss. So we'll see. And Lunara spreading the bombs, spreading those living bombs around, helping her team to get to the graveyard faster. Diablo very much in front here, gets punted away with that glove from the protector. Turret goes out, so it's getting whatever damage it can, but level 20's online now for Wood League. And the Murden deep in there, but not really in trouble. Pops the Avatar. Cleansing Flame coming out to keep him alive. And now Lunara has tons of damage, but it's Spice now in trouble on the Diablo in the backline, and he will go down. Kavlor, however, also has just boatloads of dot damage, but by the way, there's a dragon on the field. Protector still has some health. It doesn't have a second person for the damage, but that's okay. It's still getting loads of value. Core at 80%. Varian's gonna go ahead and get caught, blocked away by the Entomb as they're looking hard for this Varian, and now they're just gonna push onto the core, and it's looking very much like game 2 is gonna go over to Wood League. And that is the case. GG's going out. So Wood League ultimately then taking this series 2-0. Very strong play coming out of them. And let's see if Cav wants to join us. Let's hop over there. All right, let's hop over to the interview page. Oh, let's show you those talents here. So there we go, talents. So yeah, again, level 20 there coming on. Droopy is gonna join me. Droopy,
yo,
welcome.
What's up, man?
Buddy, that was quite a game, quite a match.
Yeah, man, I'm a little confused. What just happened at the very end there. Yeah, it was a good game though. The first one was definitely pretty close. Second one was a little different story, but overall it was a good game.
Sure. So you know, that was, when you say you were confused, do you mean about the whole game or just the finish?
No, mostly the finish, right? So we're both on even talent tiers. Yeah, we have one more item than them, but they didn't even come contest. So yeah, I don't know what that bottom thing was. I get what they're doing, but a 20-minute protector is game over, right? So
yeah, and actually you said that in the stream too. I was like, they're level 17, they're level 19, like you gotta go. Yes, the third place or third protector is a very tough place to go into with all the conveyor belts. It's death for one team or the other, but you're not going to defend.
You gotta try. Yeah, you gotta try. I mean,
yeah, not with level 20 at that point.
I didn't get it. I was like, well, they were. I mean, no, good game though. It's a great game.
Yeah, for sure. So the match, you know, I want to talk about that first match. So you guys picked a comp that quite literally just yesterday or 2 days ago or something. Like we played against almost exactly that same comp, and it just shredded our face because we weren't, you know, prepared for it. And we.
No, I was actually in that game.
Were you really?
I play with that team. I'm a sub for that team in Heroes Launch.
Ah, you're a jerk.
we prefer a noob if we can get it right for the Beetle build. Gives us some good easier push. So yeah, it went pretty well though.
Yeah, no, I started seeing that stuff come out, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to see this. And it took a while for it to come on for you guys. Your guys' game against us was, we weren't nearly as prepared for it, and you had that control very early on. Whereas this game, it wasn't until around level 18 that you guys got, the Zool pressure pushing in mid and top, and finally getting that bottom keep. So what was it that was different, or what was it about that matchup today that took a little bit longer to come online?
Two different sets of teams. The other team I play with sometimes that's our map. That's our comp. We have variations for that comp. So we know exactly what the goal is. So XGG it's a fun tournament for us. We do it for fun. So the mindset is we just play whoever we can get that is on our team as well, right? So if somebody is not comfortable on damage, we like to just play, have fun, right? That's the whole goal. So it's not as serious, this tournament as NGS or HL is. So
sure.
We had to figure out what it was and how we wanted to run it. And like you said, by level 18, we started clicking.
Yeah, and it was phenomenal. You guys were, if I remember correctly, you guys were behind pretty significantly up until that point.
24-14, I think was the score.
Somewhere around there, yeah. And then you just started chunking it down. Just 4 points here, 5 points. You get 2 altars. You get sappers. You take that tower. All of a sudden, there's threat of 6 capping, and it went from very even to landslide in a matter of 2 minutes, basically. So you guys executed that wonderfully. That was very well played.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so game number 2, Volskaya, which was your map selection, obviously, the stats heavily in your favor, 16 kills to 1.
Cav's a feeder. Just want to throw that out there.
Right.
Cav more feeds, so it's becoming the normal, right?
Way to go, Cav. Jeez, what are you doing over there for this team?
Giving us some bad stats.
So you played Maiev in the second game. It was Sylvanas in the first game, yeah?
Correct, yes, sir.
So what I've seen, and tell me about this, because I've seen this out of now, I think, 3 or 4 individuals who have played both. Sylvanas and Maiev seem to fill a very similar play style in very aggressive play with a potential disengage or aggressive engage, depending on what you're trying to do. And then, of course, you have different setup for, whether it's Wailing Arrow or whatever, versus Warden's Cage. Do you find that playstyle on those heroes to be very similar now because of her rework?
Yeah, definitely, right. So the new Sylvanas is, you have to be a lot more careful because you use your escape to stack your quest, right? So I think the silence is just AoE silence is a very broken ability, and same with Warden's Cage. So they do feel the same disengage engage role, and I think they're both top tier right now. We saw a comp like this in, I believe it was NGS A division the other night. The Dread Pirates for somebody else, and I'm telling you what, man, the Warden's Cage with the Phoenix on top of it is just, it's deadly.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, the funny thing is I don't think any of them are watching right now, but I'm going to give away a strat that a few of us came up with that worked just stupidly well, which was the Kael'thas Warden's Cage, or Phoenix Warden's Cage, and Tyrael.
Oh, Tyrael, yeah.
And doing that sanctification, and there are a couple of ways to counter it that we found, but I think we had like a 90% win rate on it, and it's just absolutely disgusting because you go in there with the sanctification, and then everybody dies, right? Because you're in a Warden's Cage, your team's immune, and you're spreading bombs, and there's a Phoenix, and you just die.
Yeah.
Like it's disgusting. So really strong play, and I wanted to shout you out. Like, I'm glad you're here because you guys had that just after 10 team fight that was not top lane. It was over by, well, it was kind of in top lane, but you just dove in on 3 of them by the support camp and just sent them all to the graveyard.
Yeah, so I saw Corks was trying to get a little ballsy over there on the left side, and it started getting really low. And my team trusts me, right? I try to shot call. The team really does trust me. So when I said we're going in, dropping Warden's Cage, then instantly the Phoenix came out and the Entomb, and then you saw it. I think it was a 5-0 wipe. So, and that was a turning point in that game.
Lunar made it up.
Okay, yeah, that was the turning point, I think, the whole game, right? They realized, hey, we can't really fight this team as well if we don't poke. So, yeah, man, I mean, it was definitely, as long as the team trusts us, like we're building this energy, it was great.
Yeah, you guys really just made all of that work really well in both games. You know, like you said, the first game, it took a little bit longer, but once you kind of clicked, that carried into the second game. You know, draft-wise, I do have to ask, so you guys banned Johanna, Jaina, and Anna first game and then Blaze second game, but Johanna, Jaina, was that specifically because of those guys, or was it, you know, were you thinking about how things were modified today with those heroes?
No, my personal opinion is Ban Show, they love Joanna, right? I mean, every game I play against them, I feel like I've seen them play. Their win rate on Joanna is very high, so she's definitely a good tank, you know, CC immune, right? All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we figured give away the tanks, and then once they started banning tanks, I mean, there's not a lot of good people left. So, our tank tonight was very comfortable on anybody. So, I think we had actually we had the better ability to play any tank, right? As far as then they couldn't. So, yeah, I think it paid off. I mean, I don't want to be rude, but yeah, it was a good game.
Sure.
Sorry,
Yes.
man. I'm trying to hold my tongue as much. You know what I'm saying? I respect them. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what? I was really excited when I saw DeWitt post about this match tonight, and that the timing worked out for me, because obviously, you know, we've played both teams fairly recently in the NGS playoffs, and Wood League just at the end of the season, and so it was exciting for me to get to see you guys, because, you know, I felt like both of these teams, and maybe there's some, you know, roster adjustments being different here, but both of these teams had really strong showings in Division C, especially against some of the, you know, the upper seed tiers. I don't want to say the higher teams or the better teams, because I don't feel like that division was necessarily that much different top to bottom in the seeding. But and that was displayed as in your guys' performance against the Found Vikings when you guys played against them as well. So I was really excited to see you guys play tonight. So I'm glad that, you know, this came up.
Yeah, we took one from y'all, if I remember right. Congrats, by the way. You know, that's a big win y'all had. We took one game from you guys before the season, and then, you know, the 8 versus 1 seed, you know, our first year as a team, our first season, and then being able to almost take them 3 games. We took them 3 games, but
yeah,
they went on a back door, right? So it just shows, man, you know, teamwork, it's getting there. So I think next year will be a different story.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? If tonight's game is any indication in how you guys will continue to grow and adapt as a team, like, it's going to be just fantastic for you guys. You know, you're right. Honestly, I thought you guys were going to nail that upset, not just before the game that you had a chance, but in the actual third game, I thought you guys were going there. So, you know, it was heartbreaking to see you guys ultimately lose that. But again, like you just said, I mean, this is the way that you get better, and you guys have shown, you know, tonight some amazing combos, some amazing trust in your team, some fantastic growth in your team, and again, I mean, Bancho, no slouch. You know, they're a fantastic team as well, and they pulled out some really good wins. They actually beat the Found Vikings, if I remember right. So you know, you guys did a fantastic job tonight. I don't have any. I've been kind of wailing on that subject a little bit long. I don't have anything else I want to say. So the floor is yours for any shout outs you'd like to make.
Oh, man, we're coming for y'all next season. I mean, congrats on your win, and I mean, I look forward to playing you guys sometime soon. Shout out to the team. You know, this tournament's for fun at the end of the day, so I just want everybody to have fun and keep going out there and playing. You know, that's kind of what it's all about.
Sure. Well, you're not going to be able to see our team next season, unfortunately, because the bulk of our team is kind of going off to do other things. But maybe you'll see some version of Regen Red.
Respect, man. I get that. So,
yep.
Hey, man, I really appreciate the cast tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Have a great night, and congratulations on your victory.
Awesome, sir. You have a good one.
You too.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So that's going to be the end of our cast tonight between Ban Cho and Wood League in the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. Man, that's tough to say at midnight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. To both of the teams, you know, great job. That first game was really tight. The second game was a little bit more difficult, but you guys really put up a good game in that first game. Bancho pushing against Wood League finally getting their comp to come online and get exactly what they wanted out of it. And the second game was just a little bit of a different bag of goods. So keep going, both of you. You're fantastic teams. I loved being able to cast you tonight, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys do in other leagues as well going forward. So have a great night, and we'll see you soon.